What's up, y'all? It's KB. And if you're like us, you love movies. I am joined tonight. Well, first of all, happy belated Mother's Day to all the mamas out there, all the mamas, baby mamas. Y'all know who you are. Uh, Dog moms, y'all count too. So, um, yeah, had a interesting weekend. So, um, it's good to start a new week and move on from there. So, on this episode of the conversation, I'm joined by a friend this time. I think I could call her a friend because, Mrs. KB knows her. My friend Kate knows her. She is a powerhouse in the Kansas City film scene, a member of the Critics' Choice Association. She's known for her deep empathy and her focus on how stories linger with an audience. But she's not just a critic. She's multi-hyphenated. She's a producer, an author, a podcaster, which I'm looking forward to our next episode. Sean Edwards was not enough. And for our benefit, a movie lover, I have the lovely Miss Lonita Cook joining us. What is up, sis? Hold up. There we go. How you doing?
I am wonderful. I said that was an intro. You done walked me in.
I try. I try. We've been trying to get to this for a minute. We were blessed to have you on the last Gen X roundtable. Those are always fun, as
So much
you
fun.
experience. The fellas welcomed you in, and they were gentlemen, and you held your own, which I love to see, and gave
And
them a
I
little
keep in
gave
touch
them a
with them
little
too.
Midwest flavor.
Yes,
I
yes.
loved it.
And I would say, yes, we are friends.
Yes, I love that. Um, I'm trying to think. I can't even remember the first time. It was probably at a screener. You end up seeing the same people at screeners all the time. And eventually it was like, wait a minute, Kate, you know her? I think it was Sing Sing,
Oh, yes,
the
yes,
Coleman
yes.
Domingo.
When we finally said, hey, how you doing? Yes.
hmm
That
And then
was
you
a
met
great movie.
Mrs.
And
KB
it
at
was probably,
my old ass. You went to
yes,
that one
we,
as
we
well.
talked during that, and then I had packaged it to broadcast, and they wouldn't let me review the movie at all because of the title. After I
Yeah.
had done the interviews, I had I said, oh, so
Mm-mm.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
It
But
was a great movie.
it was, and I was glad to check it out and be there in attendance. And it's just a cool vibe. We always talk about going to Screenland and how much fun it is. So I liked being there, and just it was an outdoor movie event, so that was a little bit different. I've never
It
been
was
to one of those
cool.
before, but that was so much fun.
Yeah, I had never been to. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know that they did outside screenings, Screenland Armor, and it was up against the back of the building, right? They
hmm
broadcast it, or they projected it against the building, and we all set out with like our picnic chairs.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was really cool, and I loved, like, and I'm sure other people have had this experience. I haven't had that experience since like going to a drive-in
hmm
where the sky changes and it becomes a part of the ambiance of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was really cool when that happened. It was like the sunset, and then all of a sudden you're sitting in a dark movie, but you're outside, and all of a sudden you're ignoring the people walking by, but you know,
Traffic means nothing.
mm,
It means nothing. That's how you know a movie is good,
yeah,
when it's, birds chirping, insects flying, pedestrians on their way,
yeah,
horns honking, and you are still in the narrative. You're in hook. Yeah. So yeah, it's a great movie.
yeah. So I mentioned Gen X, so that means you grew up in the same time as I did. And if anyone wants to follow her on Instagram, please do, because she'll hit you with not only movies, but music as well. And I just smile when I see the music pop up in there because it's a memory lane trip for me. So I think it's appropriate that we start off talking about Michael. What you thought, especially as
Yes.
a critic, with the what critics thought and everything. Give us like your quick review.
Yeah. First and foremost, I am gonna say I love how responsive you are to my stories because I post movies to stories, and I post a lot of Michael Jackson, a lot of Jackson 5, a lot of, but it is the one thing that gave away my age. I would get people inboxing me, "How old are you?" Like,
I don't care. I tell them, I'm like, it is what it is.
I said, I'm old enough, I promise.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Michael, I felt the way that a lot of the critics felt. I mean, I did go in as a professional critic, but I grew up, like most of us,
Yeah.
staunch, heavy Michael Jackson fan. So, in terms of the criticism, I thought it was light on the story. I thought they were juggling a lot, and you could see that they were juggling probably some mandates, what
Yeah.
you can and cannot say, what you can and cannot touch.
Mm-hmm.
It felt that way. The biggest thing that I thought was strange was that there was no Janet, and then there was no Diana Ross, and I thought, okay, Herm, but they're going to give us a
Yeah.
part two. I think they made that clear. I
Yeah.
think most people in the world have seen it. It's the biggest movie of the year so far. So I think I can say that without spoiling. The thing that I thought that is so Lonita, that's like the way my brain works,
Yeah.
was, and this is spoiler alert, but I think, again, most people have seen it. So there is a scene when Katherine Jackson finally stands up to Joe Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And she's wearing this white on white belled suit, which is the same thing that Tina Turner was wearing when she finally stood up. Yeah.
And we see
And
that
I
in What's
thought,
Love Got to Do with it.
that's right, that's right. And I thought, oh my gosh, the white on white belled suit is the new symbol. It's gonna the new
It's
symbol.
the empowerment too.
That's right. And so that was something that really struck me as I don't even know if they thought about that, but for me, I was like,
Right.
it couldn't have been a mistake. It couldn't have been. It just was such a powerful scene, and the way she walked away was with the same attitude
Yeah.
that Angela Bassett did as Tina Turner. Like, so it just is. It's a great movie, though, for memory lane. Very
Mm-hmm.
important. I thought Jafar Jackson's performance. As a as somebody who loved Michael Jackson, and is a critical person, um, I did the neck roll a little bit. Um, but as somebody who watched that movie, I left saying, if he went on tour as Michael Jackson, I get a ticket right now. you know, so there was kind of both, where I was both satisfied and a little dissatisfied with his
Yeah.
performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Because you have your critic brain and you also have your nostalgia brain.
yes,
I
yes.
didn't have to review it, so I just went in pure nostalgia. By the time it came out, I knew the limitations that they could show, so I just went in to enjoy what I could see. But
How'd you feel?
I, it was great. It was great because I didn't have to put on my critic's hat, and I think the disadvantage is that some critics saw the movie before they knew the limitations that they could do legally. And I did sit there saying, I see Latoya, where's Janet? Where's Reby? Where's Randy? We're not talking Diana Ross. And then,
Yeah,
it didn't take much longer to find out why they weren't included. And I think even when I sat there watching the credits roll, the thing that stuck out to me, besides, just thinking Jafar was great, was the EPs, looking at the executive producers, all the brothers that you see, Latoya and his son, Prince Michael. And I know that you are known for being at times critical about or outspoken about producers who use the media to kind of propagize, or
yes,
shape narratives,
yes.
and how it affects us as a consumer. So, with that in mind, what do you think about what they did and what they had to do? Because I don't think
Sure.
even if we got all the legal stuff, we were going to get a story about, all of the bad things in the legal cases because it's, they're holding up a legacy. It's going to be sanitized.
Yeah, that's you said it right there. It's not Michael Jackson's story. It is
Yeah.
the way that we connect with this legacy. That's what the story is. And that's what the draw is. I mean, he lived his life. He gave many performances. He was magic. He's the greatest entertainer of all time. And I don't know if you was gonna say this later, but my second favorite is Luciano Pavarotti, okay? And that is a master, the king
Mm.
of the high seas, okay? And still, Michael Jackson is
Yeah.
a phenom. He is beyond. He is
Yeah.
beyond. I loved Michael Jackson so much when I was in school that people from high school that I hadn't talked to in years, that I may not have really talked to in high school, called to check on me to see if I was
Wow.
okay. That's how much I love Michael Jackson. So that is gone,
Yeah.
right? What remains is our feeling,
Yeah.
and that's what they were giving service to.
Yeah.
Yeah, they I don't know how much new things there are to reveal, and I
Right.
think what people were hoping for were these deep revelations. That's not what this movie was.
Mm-mm.
I think if I wanted to be snide about it, as some have been, you can say it was a cash grab.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's business. It
Yeah.
just is. Yeah.
Especially when you have an estate that owes a lot of money. You gotta come up with some good ways to come to that. But that brings me back to the point of where you come from on this, just in general, not just about Michael. We could talk about, and I've heard you talk about like corporate greed and Batman Returns, for example. At what point does a film cross the line from social commentary to like manipulation?
Now that's a good one. Now that's a good one. Because I think in mainstream media, I think a part of what is your job is to propagandize. I think
Yeah.
that is your job. Um, I think if you've heard me speak about this before, I think entertainment, music, and movies,
Hmm.
and other forms of entertainment, games, are. I think entertainment is the chief system by which we are conditioned,
Yeah.
by which we are refined by the powers that be to go in the way that they need us to go.
Yeah, because it works on emotions.
It,
Art
it,
works
it
on emotions.
exactly. The idea is planet. This is your thematic statement, and then it is rooted in you by a tug of war, scene by scene. That's
Hmm.
what we call tension, and we have an emotional response to conflict. And yeah, I mean it's rooted in psychological games, movie
Yeah.
making.
Yeah.
And so just that's the background that I approach movies with. I don't think it's cynical. I think it's realistic.
Yeah.
And when we come to Michael, I think there may have been a cleansing happening as well.
Oh, yeah.
There are people who don't appreciate that. The ones who are like, well, what about the allegations and what about? They don't want the cleansing because they were kind of squeaking him clean
Yeah.
with this movie. Yeah.
My whole thing about that though, and I was never one of those people to say Prince versus Michael and all that. I'm like, they're
Yeah.
both great musicians and they're not
Yeah.
doing anything close to the same thing except putting out good music. But to me, it'd be one thing if he was found guilty of something. But I think, there's rumors that there's a 4-hour cut of this movie before it was edited and then re-edited to change the narrative and everything. But it's going to be sanitized to make it look like, hey, nothing stuck. But at the same time, yeah, nothing did stick. You could say he paid off this, that, and the third, but eventually, the law catches up with you.
Yeah. I think for me, when these allegations happened, I was a teenage girl.
Hmm.
And the way that my mind worked was, we don't know what celebrities are doing, so it's possible.
Very true. Very
Even
true.
as a fan, I was like, we don't know him.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know any of these people. It's
Yeah.
possible. But I, of course, didn't want to believe it. As an adult, I look at it as the power of the accusation. The perception is key. Um, the those allegations tarnished his reputation, whether he did it or not.
Right.
And so now we look at the power of rumor
Yeah.
and how it shapes perception. And he could be as innocent as a lamb.
But it's out
It
there.
does not matter. Yeah.
It's out there.
And yeah.
But certain things tend, well, certain things tend to linger, like perception, it becomes reality and everything. And in terms of like movies, there are things like pacing, character choice, visual motifs that create what you like to call a lingering effect or a lingering factor. How do you? I did my homework. Stop.
Yes.
You acting brand new. Stop. But seriously, knowing that, how does that for you? How does it distinguish a movie that is, like I said, Michael was entertaining, or one that is essential because it stayed with you?
And you mean broadly?
Yeah, broadly. Let's zoom out.
Yeah. Okay. Um, so what you're referring to is there are a couple of things that I believe about movies. A few things.
Tell them. Tell them.
One one of the things I believe is that a movie is at its best when it lingers. And so I think a lot of good documentaries do that. They
Yeah.
teach us something and they expand our consciousness, expand our minds, and inform and educate, that kind of thing. But I think even the slightest shift, whether you've illuminated a part of the world that I didn't know was there,
Yeah.
and I'm going to bring that in as a part of who I am now because you did it so powerfully.
Yeah.
This for me is what lingers. And if we go back to the Jacksons, I think that's what, let me interject a little bit. When I was in college, this professor was helping us. We had started this theater troupe. And what we wanted to do was perform, but not on stage. We wanted to offer performances to like history classes and so come into your class and reenact something right?
Right.
And this professor was helping us. He was kind of sponsoring us with a bunch of college kids. And we were like, we need to call ourselves something. We were like coming up with all these slick names. And he was like, call yourselves Conjure Theater Troupe, because that's what you do.
Yeah.
When you entertain, you are conjuring. And he said a lot of different things. And in that moment, and this is something that lingers with me, I realized what the exchange is between the artist and the audience. And some of us are just spectacle, right? But some of us, we get in there. Some of us, we allow you to open yourself up to new ideas and new ways of being. And I'm holding myself back, but but honestly, it's new spirits.
Yeah.
And so this is what I think we have to, and it's also another reason why, I try to make sure that we are very mindful of what's happening in a movie. What spirits are they trying to open you up to? Okay.
That's why you don't mess with horror movies. I understand. We're having fun. We're having fun. We are not alone.
I mean, come on now.
I want to shout out some people in the chat. Hopefully they're still with us. We got Mr. Moody here saying good evening to everyone, as well as we have Michael on the check-in saying hi. We got my man Nick saying salute. Salute to you, my man. He's going to catch us on the rewatch. If you are watching on the rewatch, please feel free, leave a comment. If you have a question for Miss Lonita Cook and you're in the chat, please bring it up. Keep it movie related. We'd appreciate that. We have a check-in from Belfast saying good night. Greetings from Belfast, Ireland, UK. Good to see you. And he sends a personal hi to you. Love what you were saying about good films lingering. Yes, that's my girl Mika. Says good movies don't really end when the credits roll. They stay with you in
Yes.
quiet moments, open up new thoughts, questions, emotions, perspectives you didn't even realize you were carrying. So true, girl.
Yes.
So true. And the funny thing is, she's a big horror movie fan. Her and her sister. So I'm just saying. I'm going to come back to
I
you.
am easing into the horror,
Easing into it. She gives you a little encouragement here. Have to watch those horror films. Definitely eye-opening. Some great films that have lingered with us afterwards. That is the truth.
100%. I mean, and let me be clear. I think horror is a very powerful place for
Oh
movies
yeah.
like Get Out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's a more direct, more focused, and more clear way to tell that story.
Oh
Get
yeah.
Out is, yeah.
Yeah.
And it is one of my favorite movies of all time. So I'm easing in.
You're getting there. You're getting there. We got a future conversation guest right here. What is up, girl? Good to see you
Hey.
as usual. Um, I'm gonna switch lanes real quick on you. You can handle it. Most of us, when we hear the term in movies coming of age, we think of teenagers, we think of people going from being teenagers to being young adults, growing up, kind of thing. But you seem to be in love with the midlife coming of age narrative, which is kind of left of center. Look at her; she's getting all obsessed about it. So youthful coming of age stories, we get that, but why is like that midlife transition like more, I don't know, honest, more attractive to you as far as watching movies?
I think some of it has to do with our generation. The image of adulthood that we grew up with
Mm-hmm.
in our generation was very grounded. And I think a lot of times for Gen X, because of the way we grew up, and we know the things that kind of define our generation, going down to the creek, mama don't know where you at, but you know what I'm
That's
saying?
you. That's you. Mine was getting on our bikes and leaving the block and just making sure we were home before the street lights were on. That's my version of
Exactly.
going down to the creek.
Exactly.
Same thing, same narrative.
We were latchkey kids. I
Same.
don't know if you remember that service that they used to have, and I don't remember who it was, but it was called Phone Friend. And if you were at home alone, you could call this number and an adult would just talk to you while you were by yourself.
Crazy.
In retrospect, the most dangerous thing ever.
Who said they safe? Where you live?
It's like, what were we thinking?
Mm-mm.
And so I think a lot of coming into that traditional adulthood is happening later in life for our age group. I think, getting in line on a lot of finances and romance and all these things, I think kind of categorically we are maturing later.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like going through a second coming of age as we go through. I don't want to even call it midlife crisis. It's a midlife life. It's
Yes,
not.
it is.
It's not even a
I mean, that's
crisis.
why I
Crisis
call it
is
a coming of
adulthood.
age is because I think and I'm going to use the word player, but I don't mean like boyfriend
Hmm.
girlfriend player,
Yeah, yeah,
but I
yeah.
mean we played,
Yeah.
we arcade, we are like
Creatively came up with
yes,
games, all that stuff.
yes, and I think what we consider coming of age and getting to know ourselves and being able to stand squarely in who we are. I think, in movies it happens in 18 years old, and it's like, really?
Yeah,
I was supposed to be doing that back then? No.
no, we weren't doing that.
We
But
weren't doing that.
it is a way of like trying to show an example, and I think Mika just brought up a point very similar here, finding themselves. So
Yes.
it's an artistic expression of someone who was a kid, now going into adulthood, finding themselves. But that's just like the tip of the iceberg. Really, you don't find yourselves. I don't know what I like until I'm in my 30s, 40s, and then by my 50s, I know what I like, and I don't care if anybody else like it or not because
Yes.
I'm over 50, so I don't care. I really don't.
Yes.
In your
And
40s, you
and
say it, but you don't really mean it all the time. In your 50s, you really don't care.
And
I
that is
really
the
don't
part
care.
that I mean in movies when teenagers move out of that angst and they come of age, they know who they are. And it's like, I feel like 40 years behind. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
like,
Yep.
and so yeah, that's why midlife coming of age tales are important. Also, but you're not putting us out to pasture. You
Oh
got
no, no,
another
no,
thing
no.
coming.
We're doing a new thing
Yeah.
over here. So it we're doing things that you didn't get to do, you won't get to do
Yes,
when you get to this stage either, because it's
exactly.
everything changes. I look at my own kids and they're in their 20s and everything. I can't tell them how to live life, and in turn, I can't say, look at what I did when I did it because it's going to be different for you. I was married at 25. My youngest is about to turn 25. None of them are even looking that way. I'm like, please don't try to emulate us. It's
Yeah.
not that. It is, this world is not that world. And the
Yes.
expectations we had back then are not the expectations put on you now. So do not put it on yourself. We have a couple of questions and comments here. So we have a question about, does anyone enjoy Criterion Collection Blu-rays? I do. I've been collecting Criterion Collection since DVD days. I missed out on the Laserdisc, but DVDs, Blu-rays, 4Ks, I got at least one of them around here. But what do you think about Criterion Second Sight films? All boutique labels are all good because I think it gives studios a chance to give new life to movies that a lot of people forgot about. I got Wild Style. Matter of fact, I'm going to change the angle here. That right there is the Wild Style vinyl album that came from Arrow with my 4K. Nobody's really looking to put out Wild Style. I don't even know what studio originally put it out. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Criterion. Second Sight is my favorite import. Arrow, same thing. So all good stuff. Do you collect, ma'am?
I do not collect.
It's a
And
slippery slope.
it is like I do not collect, but I love watching movies. I mean, and I'll say this. I mean, the movies that we grew up on weren't just the movies that were coming out when we were kids, like
Right.
the Never Ending Stories and stuff like that. They were the movies that our parents watched
Mm-hmm.
and our grandparents watched. And so movies like Bringing Up Baby, I'm like, I
Yeah.
love that movie. Yeah. And I mean, it's just a lot of black and whites. I was obsessed with like Capra for many years. Um, but I don't collect.
Yeah.
But I do think in terms of preservation that this is, yeah, it's important. And then also folks who collect DVDs and Blu-rays, the conversation that we're having about physical copies right now,
Mm-hmm.
material, the discs. I don't know if anybody's still doing VHS.
A lot of people are doing VHS.
Yes,
Gen
yes,
Z is all into VHS now, finding copies that don't have mold, and they're into DVDs. So it's great. It's great to see a renaissance of older formats because they may not be in a financial position to afford those movies all on Blu-ray and 4K, but we could get VHS and DVD at 50
yeah,
cents a movie. We could do
yeah,
that. So
yes,
they're doing it because they're discovering there's a whole bunch of movies that's not on streaming, or a whole bunch of movies that people have mentioned that they never heard of, and they want to be in the know. So it's great. Talking about movies, we have a question here. Do you have any favorite films of 2026 or any that you're currently looking forward to?
Hmm, that's a good question. I mean, there are movies that I like that have come out this year. Thank you for that question, by the way. I loved You, Me, and Tuscany.
I heard that was
Um,
really good. I
it
missed
is
it.
so good. But it's a conversation piece as well in
Hmm.
terms of the traditional rom-com. It is 100%. Um, which one did it? Which movie? I think While You Were Sleeping. That's the movie it's like.
Oh, okay.
Um, oh yeah, I mean, structurally, it's
Yeah.
like that. But there's this new demand um, from movies, especially as they move to streaming, where you repeat the information through dialogue
Yeah.
multiple times throughout the movie,
Second
which in our
screen narrative.
day, hmm,
Second screen narratives because people usually are looking at this,
yes,
so they have to hear the same thing over and over again in the movie because that's not their focus.
exactly.
Project Hail Mary, while you look that up, is
Oh my
probably my
gosh,
favorite theatrical experience this year. Besides people singing and dancing and Michael, that's another story. But
that was great.
um, I was not expecting that, but I should have because I'm such a big fan of The Martian, which
Me too.
Alex Weir being the same writer, and
Yes.
my wife hasn't seen it, so I was just saying, you want to go see
Hasn't
the
seen The
movie
Martian?
tomorrow before we before it leaves the theater because you really need to see that on the big screen. So we might go to a evening matinee tomorrow and see it.
Project Hail Mary. Okay, okay, okay. It's it's a it's a better movie in a lot of ways than Michael. Although Michael, like you said, nostalgia on 1,000.
Yeah.
But yeah, Project Hail Mary was. I saw it twice in the theater, and I don't ever do that. I was like, this movie was. I laughed. It's so funny. I cried
Wow.
like a baby.
Same.
It even where it was obviously manhandling our emotions, because there are
Mm-hmm.
places where you like,
Oh
okay,
yeah.
I feel you trying to get in here.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm gonna let you. It's okay.
Yeah.
So just yeah, that's the movie. I agree with you. But in terms of You, Me, and Tuscany, there's a thing that they do technique wise to meet that new demand of repeating with dialogue. So the character Claire that we see in the trailer, her friend that makes the Shonda Rhimes joke,
Yeah.
she's used kind of like the Greek chorus throughout the movie.
Ah.
Yes, and I thought it was so genius the way that they structured this whole thing. It's very clean, moves very easy. There's no dead weight at all. I mean, in Reggae Jean,
Yeah. Yeah. We don't have to go there. We don't have to go there.
yeah, so just beautifully acted. I think that Halle Bailey is
Yeah.
superstar in the making. If ever we get superstars back, she
Yeah.
is. Yeah, but yeah, I know that a lot of critics compared it to different rom-coms, but structurally, it's most like While You Were Sleeping. And so what that means is you have to suspend disbelief.
Disbelief. Yeah.
Yes, you
I
have
get
to.
it. I get it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We got Gunji on the check-in saying hi to both of us. Hope you're doing well, sir. Always good to see you in here. Um, we were just talking 80s movies, being Gen Xers, all that stuff. Describe what mayhem and magic is.
Where you get that from? Give me the context of where I said that. You coming
No,
with the thunder.
talking about, irreverent golden masterpieces of the 80s, and you have your own. So, what is it about the 80s? Because I don't care. You talk to horror fans, you say when was the best decade for horror? They'll say the 80s, the
Oh
slashers,
yeah.
whatever. You talk to popcorn movie fans, they will say the 80s, Back to the Future, Indiana Jones, all
Yes.
that stuff. What is it about the 80s that this can be described in mayhem and magic?
Ooh, thank you for that. What did I write that in? Because I wrote that and I was and it was like absolutely exactly how I felt. But applying that, yes, to the 80s, I always say it is the Hollywood Renaissance.
Hmm.
And um, I think that that was the combination that made those movies so powerful. Something like The Never Ending Story is both magical and it was scary. That's a scary movie.
Yeah, there was some scary elements,
Um,
especially as a kid.
yeah. And they didn't have no problem scaring kids.
No, no, there was
No problems.
so many things in those movies that we grew up on that was downright kind of creepy. I mean, I know people who got scared of gremlins, and it was like, it was okay when it
No
was Gizmo, but
problems.
after midnight, that was a different story.
No problem. The Mogwai so cute.
Hmm. Until he's not.
And this and what that produced in us, I think, as a generation, was that same combination.
Yeah,
We, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's what defines our hardcore. We are hardcore, and I
true.
think we are both wondrous, right, and dangerous
Yeah.
at the same time. Yeah, yeah.
See, as we say it, never ending story was traumatic too, especially the horse scene. Took us out. You got that?
Yes.
Also, I think about the 80s, the thing, and of course, we've had other decades that have had needle drops and everything. I'm really big on needle drops, especially because of Project Hail Mary. Hello. But I think the 80s was the definitive era of having music be a mood in kind of define music. We see it every once in a while. That's why I bring up Project Hail Mary. The music in that, the needle drops in that definitely set a mood,
Yes.
as well as the score. But
I was just gonna say,
the
not
score too,
yes, the score
just the
is,
music overall. Yeah.
yeah,
But you mentioned like we grew up not only watching the movies that were our generation, like the Star Wars and the Indiana Jones, the Rockies, all the blockbuster stuff, but we were at home watching the movies of the week and watching what our parents grew up with. I had no business watching Sound of Music and Ben Hur and all that so many times, but there's so many, whether you're talking soundtrack or score, there's so many movies in the 80s where the music is tied to the movie.
so speaking of what our parents watch, I don't know how many times I watched Superfly.
I told you, you're gonna bring up a movie, I'm gonna show it.
Yes. And as an adult, I was like, huh, I probably shouldn't have seen that so young.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
And so many times. And that soundtrack, let me tell you,
Curtis Mayfield. And I grew up
I
on
knew,
his music too. My
yes,
dad, he wasn't. I was just telling this story the other day. Um, we had our stereo in the attic. Bad place to keep music because vinyl melts. But I had to go up a flight or two flights of steps to change the music because since the age of 4, I was a family DJ. So it helped me later on when I could actually get paid for being a DJ. But I knew all that music. I knew the Curtis Mayfield. I knew the Jefferson Airplane before Starship. I knew the Burt Bacharach and the Engelbert Humperdinck. And I knew all the calypso, all the soca music because my parents are from the West Indies. And I knew all the hip hop and all the R&B because that's what I was hearing outside. And it just opened up our minds to all these different genres. And I mentioned genres of music because I want you to put on your producer hat for a moment. You're producing a film today and you want to capture the soul of like this decade, not going back, this decade. I know, a little bit different. A little bit different because you probably want to go back and do like a 80s or 90s.
Yeah.
Would you pick a specific genre of music or a specific artist? How would you like capture this moment culturally?
I think you have me at a loss on this one. I can't say that I listen
Because
to
you're
too
still
much
listening to
music
80s or 90s.
from today.
All right, so
Uh,
you're doing a retro music. Let's take it back.
yeah, but here's the thing. That's why Project Hail Mary is so great. Their music is from yesteryear,
And a little
and
touch of today. You got some Harry Styles in there too.
oh yeah. But that was.
That was a touching part.
I won't spoil, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I agree. I agree. Um, one of the most important songs in the movie was that Harry Styles song. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I would probably want to work with an artist who's been around a while. I mean, I'm not producing at the level where I could afford somebody like that yet,
Mm-hmm.
but
That's the
some
dream.
it can dream, right?
Right.
Um, but somebody whose own music, even though they are producing and distributing for today, their own um, lineage is from the music that we know and love,
Yeah.
that their own roots are are in the greats. Um, they understand musical genre um, from around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that's important. I think that's probably what I would do. One thing that I do love about what's happening now, particularly with social media, is the access to music, kind of indigenous music, as well as all the way to pop music from around the world. People
Yeah.
are sharing their culture online, and we can access these sounds, um, the sentimentality in it, the energy of it. And I think people who understand music composition,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to mentally go through my playlist. It's on
Yeah.
Whitney. It's on Michael. It's B&GB.
Hey, 60% of his catalog is back and back in the Billboard. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yes,
17 years
yes.
later, he still got it. Steve adds, maybe it's because I'm old. It seems to me the best new music sounds a lot like the older stuff. These kid, these kids today got nothing. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Taylor Swift with her 1989, and
Yeah.
certain artists kind of going old school that way. Mika adds, I still appreciate artists who actually write and produce their own music. Yeah, because it's a part of you that comes through in that. Very rare now. There are some great new artists who are doing that. It's true. It's true. So very true. I do
True
have
that.
one question before we get to the five takes, and we're basically going to bring it back home. What is going on with the Kansas City film scene, and what do you like best about it?
Gosh, I will say I've taken a year off. I told you before I took a year off to kind of grieve the passing of my mother and really get through that process. And now I'm ramping back up and getting back on my sea legs. And I'm noticing that there are some robust production happening. A lot with indie filmmakers. A lot of folks are taking care of each other. And what I mean by that is producing with each other, getting work out there. I'm really happy that Kansas City Film Festival International will be back in action this year, so in September, and that's very important. That this will be its 30th year, and so it is a Kansas City cultural staple, and so making sure that festival thrives is, I think it should be, and I think it is important to Kansas City. I know some other groups that have kind of, you know, maybe taken a step back to reassess its identity, like Women in Film.
Yeah,
the Kansas City Women in Film.
that's
I
coming
think
up.
they're Women in Film and Media now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they are up and running again. I sit on the board of Inclusivity Media, and it is an organization that isn't just about cultural diversity, racial diversity, but really focusing on including diversely abled creatives. And that's really important to me that diversely abled folks get to be in mainstream creative circles
Yeah,
and contribute and participate. And that's happening right here in Kansas City. Um, and yeah, I think that the film incentive on the Missouri side has
mm-hmm.
been really effective. Um, Last year, they did shoot some of Ted Lasso season 4 here, and that Ted Lasso season 4 will be back in August. They just released the trailer, and so I'm super excited to see everything that happens for this upcoming season. Yeah, I think there's some resurgence happening right now.
Yeah, and you mentioned a very
Yeah.
important piece that people within the community are helping each other. I think it used to be the biggest challenge was the technology, but now technology is not the case. It's getting people to back you and support you and help you get your projects done. And so it's nice to see, you know, oh, you direct my film, I produce your film, I help you raise money for this one. Oh, this actress was great in my film, you should have her on yours, kind of thing. So I love seeing that even from an outsider looking in. I end up just seeing the end results or, a couple of people that I know and following them as they might be doing a short or making a feature, as the case may be sometimes. And I just love to see it because it's different when you think of somewhere like New York, LA, even North Carolina, Georgia. But when people think of the Midwest, they don't think about the power of the people that are here and what they're doing. And I know you're big on advancement ideologies, especially in independent films. So yeah, you just mentioned that whether it's people of color or anyone like that is very, very important.
And I will say, and if you allow me, I want to talk a little bit about my creative partner. Can I do that? Is
Sure
that all
thing.
right? And this is kind of before I was like busy. And I met this guy. I was executive producing this short film locally, and he had come in and auditioned. This is, I don't know, probably like 6 or 7 years ago, something like that. And he was so funny. And I was laughing in his audition, and it was like, I remember this guy. And then I would see him out in the community, and I'd be like, hey, we need to get together for like 7 years.
That's how it happened. How it
I'm like,
happened.
we need to. And then last year, I just said, you know what? I'm going to reach out to him. I don't know why. And he has turned out to be an angel. So kind, so generous, and just generous of spirit, which is, I think, very important in collaborative relationships. Um, and I just thought, I waited 7 years to reach out to this guy.
Hmm.
And so I encourage people, like you said, if you are in a community of filmmakers, find your people and be generous with them, be
Yeah.
collaborative with them, because and not everybody's your people. Like
Uh,
we know this, but it is very important to find your people. And so that's just something that came out of being in the Kansas City community, and finally just taking that leap and saying, I'm going to reach out.
yeah.
And yeah, he's my creative person.
Yeah. You didn't give his
Yeah.
name though.
His name is Prakash Cuddy. I don't know if he's watching. I invited him to watch, but he is a very busy man.
I hear that.
Yeah, and if he's here, hi Prakash.
Shout out to all the producers in KC doing their thing. We
Yeah.
love to see it. Um, yeah. Yes to inclusiveness in film. I'm a social worker who works with disabled, so love hearing the focus on the disabled. Yeah, that's awesome. That is so good. All right. You ready for the five takes?
I got my list.
All right. I'm going to change the angle again. The five takes, the five questions we ask all our guests at the end of the conversations. We start, like we always do, with number one. Name the film that made you fall in love with the movies. Let me see if I got it here. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna preface it with there was the biggest way that we bonded. My mother was a Trekkie. She loved Westerns. She liked action movies. And I don't know if you found me, our favorite movie to watch together was Dune, David Lynch's Dune. But that is incidentally not the movie. Yes! That is my favorite movie of all time, but it's incidentally not the movie that made me love movies.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
It is All That Jazz.
Criterion Collection, way back there in the A.
You have it?
Of course I do. Bob
That is so
Fosse,
cool.
Showtime.
Yes.
Come on.
Directed by Bob Fosse, is semi-autobiographical. What year did it come out? It came out in 1979. And of course, I was a very young little tyke. I think I was 4 or 5 years old, something, when it came out. Another movie I shouldn't have been watching. But there was the scene with the mom and the daughter, and they're in their ballet clothes, their tights, and their leotard, and their slippers. And my mom got us all of that, and I did that back then, and she tickled me. And
That's
it is
cute.
And from that moment on, any movie like Crush Groove, Fast Forward, Fame, any of those movies, they give me that same feeling. And so that was the first movie that made me, oh my goodness. Yeah.
That's so cute.
I'm
I
hooked.
love it. All right. Number two. Name 5 of your favorite films, movies, what have you.
Okay, so this one I did by category. So my
Okay.
favorite palate cleanser, if I'm having a bad day and I need to watch something to kind of turn my day around, I go to anything Jason Sudeikis. And my
Tasty local.
my go-to is Horrible Bosses.
Okay.
I love it. I've seen it way too many times. But if it's not available on any of the streamers, I will do Sleeping with Other People, We're the Millers, and then season 1 of Ted Lasso is my favorite piece of television. So
I love We're the Millers all the way to the credits and the outtakes and all that. Love it, love it, love it.
yes.
Second one.
My favorite princess movie is Coming to America.
Yes, she's your
Yes.
queen, queen to be. There you go. That's back there, somewhere there.
Oh, it is
Eddie,
Eddie
my
Murphy.
favorite
is a
Eddie movie.
genius.
My favorite Eddie movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say it's my favorite Eddie Murphy movie too. I loved them all back in the day. But Coming to America, for me, was where his genius really shone. I think with like the buddy cop movies that he was doing, he had to, give in on a lot of things. I mean, but Coming to America had the things that I appreciate, the comedy. Like I said, for me, I see it as a princess movie. But then having Black people on Currency, people seeing him and being like, "Oh my goodness," that Blackness is something to adore.
Yeah.
Where a lot of times we see it as something to abhor.
Right.
And it just was such a genius way. And then his elephant's name was Babar. It's like he's awesome. And Charlie Murphy, because
Yeah. R.I.P.
We can't. Yeah, yeah. My next one is family night. My children and I, and maybe this is me repeating what my parents did, but our
Uh-oh.
movie was Count of Monte Cristo.
Which version?
Um, the one, um, oh, what is that actor's name? The guy who played Jesus in The Passion of Christ.
Oh,
He was in
Jim
Frequency.
Caviezel.
Yes, yes, that one. Even though I appreciate the older version, that's
Yeah,
the one that I
yeah.
watched with my kids. Yeah, and I
Nice.
love it. And I feel like Ben-Hur is just the Count of Monte Cristo. It just is.
So good. So good.
The movies that I go to bed to, Just Right with Queen Latifah and Common.
Yes.
Yeah,
Good one.
I put that. Yeah, I put that on to go to bed to. Um, and I think that was five, right?
One more.
Well, I think I only did four on my list, but I'll say my other movie, The Day After Tomorrow. So my best disaster film. I love disaster movies. I love them. They're always so terrible. They're just a smidge better than trash, you know. And I watch them all.
I love it.
Greenland, San Andreas, all of them, and The Day After Tomorrow is my favorite.
Disaster movies. All
Yeah.
right. Everyone's favorite one. Number three, name a popular or classic movie that everybody loves, but you don't particularly like.
So this goes back to our talk on horror.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I will say the horror movie in Stanley Kubrick's catalog is the only one that is the exception. The Shining, I love.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of his catalog, I've kind of like, I don't need this in my soul. And so the classic movie that everybody loves, but I hate is A Clockwork Orange.
Oh, I thought you were going 2001 for a moment, but yeah, I could see Clockwork Orange. That's a lot for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like people love and respect and what Eyes Wide Shut. That's the one you thought I was.
No, no, no. I thought you were going to go with 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh, A Space Odyssey. Yeah, no, I mean just
They're like, no.
all of them, all of them. No, thank you. No,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. Let's see. Let's flip that. Number four, name a critically hated movie as a film critic that you love.
I mean, I'm gonna go with Date with an Angel.
Oh my gosh. Hold up. I haven't seen or heard that in so long. I gotta look that up.
Date with an Angel came out in 1987. It was directed by Tom McLaughlin, and it starred Michael E. Knight and Phoebe Cates.
Oh my
And then,
gosh.
yes, and what is, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, Emmanuel Beart? Is that how you pronounce it? She was
Yeah.
in the Mission Impossible, the first Mission Impossible movie
Yeah.
as well. And I love that movie. I love it so much. And
Oh wow.
it's got 13% on Rotten Tomatoes. So it's some people that decided to go back and retroactively give it
Okay.
points. That's how
I'm
much they
doing a
liked it.
52-week challenge, and this week's challenge is watch a 80s comedy. And I've been trying. I want to watch something that I've either never seen or haven't seen in a mighty long time. But yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that one. I remember that one.
yeah.
Wow.
I love it so much. I thought
Wow.
it was like very strange to me as a girl because I thought Phoebe Cates was so pretty
Yeah, she was.
and she's so pretty. And oh my gosh, she said The Heavenly Kid. That was the
Yeah,
other one that I had on my list
good call.
for this category.
Good
Yes.
call.
Yeah, because I think it's got pretty low, maybe 30 on Rotten Tomato, but Heavenly Kid is another one. I used to watch that one over and
Yeah.
over. I used to watch it every
VHS.
day.
That was
Yeah,
my joint on VHS. Yeah.
yeah, Heavenly
Mika's doing
Kid.
the challenge as well. She's gonna add that date with an angel. Wow.
Date
It's on
with an
Tubi.
Angel.
Good. I need something decent to watch on Tubi because Tubi be getting too scandalous.
It is on Tubi.
Good. I'll try to watch it.
Well, uh,
Oh man.
make sure you tell me what you think
I will.
afterwards.
I will, of course. This has been fun. Before we get to number five, I always like to acknowledge we had a great time. This was fun.
I had a
What
blast.
What do you have coming up? Where can people find you? All that good stuff.
Yeah, my Instagram is at Lonita Cook. I need to be posting more. I do more music to my stories than I do posts. Um, I am in the process of producing 3 on-screen projects, and so I'm very excited about that. Like I said, I serve the board of Inclusivity Media, um, and some other boards, Johnson County Park and Rec Foundation, that kind of stuff. Um, some non-movie stuff as well. Um, Gosh, what do I have coming up? That's it. I mean,
Hey, that's
I'll have
enough.
more to add in a bit.
That's
My
enough.
website is lonitacook.com. Oh, one thing that I am going to start doing, and probably shouldn't be publicizing because I haven't started yet, but I have a website called lovelonita.com. And lovelonita.com is a creative marketplace for aspiring storytellers. And just, in this business, people reach out and say, "Hey, Lonita, can you do this? Can you do that? Can we meet? Can I take you to coffee?" And for many years, I said, "Yes, yes, 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 yes," and did it all the time. And then, after the loss of my mom, I just didn't have the energy, but I still wanted to serve, and be beneficial to people. And so I started this website. I'm starting a series for independent filmmakers, to know how to reach out to journalists to get more coverage for your films. Um, I've been on the receiving end of folks, lots of people from independent filmmakers from around the world, wanting me to watch their movies, and I have always tried to review their films. They want quotes for their website or for their jacket covers, whatever. And but a lot of times journalists are just too busy. And
Right.
so I teach you how to structure your emails for convenience for the journalists. And then the things that need to go into the emails, like production notes. Most independent filmmakers have never heard of production notes.
Right.
And they're like, "I can send you the trailer."
It's
And
a
I
lot more
say,
than that.
yeah, you don't want to send the trailer, just send the production notes. And this is just observation from me and my colleagues, and what I think they respond to. Most of my colleagues are being courted by the studios. And so these independent filmmakers have to compete with studio outreach. And so I teach you how to structure your emails like the studios do. I teach you how to make production notes that look studio grade. And so this is a series that I will be coming out with. I have 2 articles on my website right now, studio grade production notes and your email outreach, and one type of email, because they look different if you're asking for a review versus inviting me to a screening versus inviting us to interview you and your cast. Those emails look different.
Hmm.
And so you can get a free checklist. You can also get sample production notes that I designed, um, that you can just get. So for free,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
free. So thank
That's
you for letting me say that.
oh yeah, no problem. So as we land a plane, we have number 5. So now you've been on it. Number 5. Who'd you like to see me have a conversation with on this channel?
We mentioned him before, I think, in this conversation. Have you talked to Sean?
We are high by status. That brother is always busy. I would love to go in with him because we have so many commonalities. Our love for Spike Lee, our local love for Kevin Wilmot. So he needs to be on here too. So yeah,
Yeah.
I would love to do that. I would love to do
And
that.
we're talking about Sean Edwards. If you don't know, as I just interviewed him recently, and I think in my research, if I'm not wrong, he is the oldest running black film critic in broadcast in the history of broadcast television.
That's awesome.
Is
That is so
and
awesome.
and and I'm just like, we got that guy in our backyard.
Yep. Yep. Sometimes I
Yeah.
see him out. It's just like you're like, "Yo, what's up?" And it's like, "Wait a minute, he was on
Yeah.
TCM. Hold on, I better come correct." So, no,
Well,
he's a good dude.
he's
He's a good dude.
wonderful. He is on the board of the Critics' Choice Association. He is the founder of the Celebration of Black Cinema. Yeah, he helps produce the big show, the Critics' Choice Awards in the beginning of the year. He is just amazing, amazing. And if I can help facilitate, let
Yeah,
me know.
yeah, I would love that. I want to thank everyone for checking us out, whether it's live or on the replay. As I said, if you like what you've seen here, please, first thing, follow this lady. And then, of course, like, comment, subscribe if you're into that. But I want to thank you again for coming on. And you know what? I'm probably going to hit you up next time we have the next roundtable because I don't mind bringing people back and especially get different perspectives. That's more important to me than, oh, she was on the last one. She don't need to come on again. But I will definitely hit you up to come back. So
Well,
if
you
you
got to
have
have
a
me on the round table if we
yeah,
do TV. Same chat we had
yeah,
before, but TV.
yeah, that is going to be quite diverse because something tells me we didn't all watch the same thing. But that's what makes it interesting. So I think that will be so much fun. Thank you again, everyone, for watching. As I always say, go watch a movie. Have a good night.